Welcome to the Pulse of the Heartland podcast. This is season 2. Is this episode 2 of the Rando Funcast pod? I don't know. I was gone last week, so I guess I was on one pod for about 10 seconds. So that's all you guys can stand me per week now. So
pretty much, yeah.
But just want to thank everybody for following along here. Now that we are doing these live on YouTube, you can catch us on that. You can get there from our Twitter page as well. And even if you're not following along live, it's still fun. If you are following along live on YouTube, comment. We will interact with you. That makes it more fun for us as well. Join in on the conversation. So that is fun for all of us. But who wants to do the socials? Because we're missing somebody tonight.
Yeah, poor little Joey was busy with work here, so I'm gonna say he's gonna be out tonight, unfortunately.
All right. Well, you can see the socials; they are.
So Instagram and Twitter is Heartland Pulse. On Facebook and YouTube is Pulse of the Heartland.
There you go. All right. Well, Clark, what are you sipping on?
Got me one of them classic summer 2021 Coors Lights.
Still working on the wedding beers, huh?
Yep.
All right.
Hoorah.
Very good. All right. Well, Bryant, what are you drinking?
Well, after this weekend, I have to get the color of some winners that I'm drinking here. So I got some Clone Fest from Back Pocket. It also happens to match my Chiefs colors as well. So, 2-0 this weekend.
Yeah, very good. Ryan, what are you drinking?
I'm really sad. I just finished up this bottle here. So
what one was it?
It's the Oak and Eden, rye and oak spiral. So, yep, done. I'm gonna have to buy a new one.
Darn it,
man.
Yeah. This is the worst thing ever.
You need to find the coffee steeped one that I got. That is good. Just on the rocks.
This weekend I tried the rum one.
Yeah.
That one was pretty good too. A little sweeter. I like that one actually.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I've seen that one.
I haven't seen it in stores. It was at the golf course. So I'm just like, yep, give me one of those. Yep.
Nice.
Trent, what are you doing?
I am drinking a Severance Company beer out of Sioux Falls. It's their Go Mango, their sour ale with mango and pineapple. So, like I said, it's got me started on these last season. I love me a sour now.
They're some of the best, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right. Well, let's jump into this thing. I know one of us used our pit boss this weekend, Clark.
You're welcome. I was holding down the fort here at the house. So I decided to do what I haven't done in a while. Week 1, NFL. What better to smoke up than a couple racks of ribs? So
how'd you do them?
So I went to the store earlier in the week. Found myself some St. Louis style ribs. Those are your typical spare ribs. They've just been trimmed up, made square. They were selling cheap at Dillon, so I just grabbed me a few packs of those. I didn't get fancy, just the old yellow mustard, little binder on it, and hit that with a little Yardbird. One of my favorite rubs out of Plowboys out of Kansas City. Great one. Suggest it for any of your pork. It's amazing. $2.50 on the smoker. I had them on there for 2 hours, sitting over a pan of baked beans. Those were delicious as well. And then I wrapped them up, a little apple juice in the foil. 2 more hours and delicious.
So you're doing for 5 hours? Is that what you're doing? Or 4?
4. I do
hours.
2 and 2.
Gotcha. 2 and 2. Yeah, I think next time I do ribs, that's what I'm gonna do. I haven't done ribs in a while.
Going that way, if you wanted to put, tack them up a little bit, you could, grease them up with the sauce and throw them back on for maybe 10 minutes or 15, whatever it takes. But I like a good dry rib.
Yeah.
Throw whatever sauce I want on it.
Yeah, I didn't use mine. But all last week we were up in northern Minnesota fishing, and we used like a Blackstone griddle all week. And I don't know what day it was, probably like Thursday or Friday. I just texted Katrina. I'm like, we're gonna get one of these. So need to go make that purchase.
How many batches of pancakes did you make on that bad boy?
We made, so there was 20 of us that went fishing.
Holy
So,
shit.
you know, probably made 60 pancakes that morning. So eggs, bacon, multiple mornings. Now I didn't do any of the cooking on it. Glenn did. So he did awesome on it. And that just made me think, you know what? I need one of these.
You're not going to be able to live without it.
Yeah. So that's going to be our next purchase to go throw on the deck next to the old pit boss.
Doing it before or after winter?
Going to get one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking like real soon.
This weekend?
Yeah, maybe this weekend. Real soon.
Nice.
Katrina said we should wait till Black Friday. I said I can't wait that long.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, so actually, when we were in Minnesota, we had talked about in season 1 these tabletop smokers. Joey had mentioned them, and there was somebody, I think he was from Illinois. Like I was just like walking down the shoreline at the resort, and he had like a tailgating tent set up, you know, like a big canopy, and he had 2 of those on a table in there. I'm like, and he was out there. I was like, can I check out your smokers? He had a Rectech, and then he had the Traeger. Both of the tabletop ones is pretty sweet.
So I'm curious, how many cars got burned down by a lit grill up on the lake while you're up there last week?
About 10 less than in the Miami Dolphins parking lot this
13
weekend.
cars in that parking lot
13.
went up in smoke, dude, because somebody put a grill under their car and went into the game. Like, I guess it's just a massive explosion. Like,
I didn't realize it was 13.
Yeah, that was the report I heard, was 13 cars.
I'm getting the video of it pulled up right now, but yeah, I mean that's just tailgating 101. You never put your freaking you put the grill completely out. I don't know what the hell anyone would be thinking in this case. Here we go.
These rookies, you know, they get Tyreek Hill and think we got a tailgate. You know,
it's very possible they may have been drinking beforehand too.
No, they weren't.
Here we go.
Yeah, here's the video. Like, that's insane.
I mean, imagine you walk out of a game. Not only if you're a Dolphins fan, at least you came out with a victory, and you know you're okay. You're whatever. A win's a win. We got Tua. Like, imagine you're a Patriots fan. You walked out of a game. You just got beat by the Dolphins, and your car got set on fire by some drunk asshole.
I saw a video from inside the stadium, and like just the black smoke plume was huge.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? How many grills are going? Like, so a lot of them are charcoal grills, so those coals burn for hours. I got to thinking, I'm like, I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often.
Yeah.
I'm really now. When we were in Kansas City, we went to the New Year's game against the Dolphins 3 or 4 years ago. They had a dumpster that was just for coals. So like you had to drag your charcoal grill across the tailgating parking lot to put your coals in the dumpster, which is smart.
Yep.
I mean, look at how big that freaking flame is. Jeez.
And if you're not watching on YouTube and listening this tomorrow on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, however you may watch us, just go check it out. 10 minutes in, you'll see the fire. Go to YouTube, look it up. So, all right, well, let's jump in to some college football. There was a football game played this weekend. I believe it was in Iowa City that a couple of us here were really into.
Yes,
And-
sir. And notice that only one of us is missing the pod. Happens to be from the losing side of it, but
Yeah. Coincidence?
Is that related?
No
No.
coincidence.
Not at all.
Can't face the music just yet.
I think he would rag on Iowa more than we would be cheering for Iowa State after watching.
I think you're probably
right.
right.
Yeah.
But Iowa State does come away with a 10-7 win on Saturday in the CyHawk game. Iowa State hadn't won since, was it 2014?
Yep.
So it'd been 7 seasons, 8 years. Finally, Matt Campbell got one on old Kirk Ferentz over there. But like you said, Iowa's offense is so anemic right now. They are was our 121 Division
131
FBS schools. They are 131. They're averaging 160 yards per game. We talked about how Brian Ferentz shouldn't be an offensive coordinator, and here we are.
It's a crazy stat when you really think about, especially with what Iowa State is in college football. They are absolutely probably the farthest thing away from Alabama, historically speaking. Terrible. It is just insane to me that we're finally got a beacon of hope with Matt Campbell, and he's been a positive influence on this program. He's breaking every historic. He was not only I think the fastest, but he might be one of the only coaches to beat every team in the Big 12, home and away, and beating them. But he could never beat Kirk. That of all things, everyone loved Matt Campbell. He got us the 9 win. He got us to the Fiesta Bowl. He's gotten but it was always Hawkeye fans always could hold above us, but he hasn't beat Iowa. He hasn't beat Kirk, and I don't know about you, Trent, and you were on a trip, but I'm sure even when you're texting people, they're going, a lot of people were telling me, they're like, God, you guys aren't like shit talking. It's like our best team, our best team ever last year couldn't beat you guys last year. So at this point, and we're 0-6 in the last 6 years. So I don't think we're in the area or even in the realm of being able to talk shit. Like, yeah, you're gonna poke fun of, oh yeah, Iowa State's gonna win 19-9 is what I said, But it was kind of one of these, this is the year to prove it. So we just kind of sat back and thankfully they powered through and got it done.
Yeah. So like I said, I was in Minnesota on a fishing trip this past week. We left on Sunday. So Saturday, there's 20 of us. It's a good mix of Iowa State fans. So it was fun to watch it with a group of mixed fans there. But I don't know. I had a weird feeling the whole game. It was from the outside, probably Ryan and Clark, you're not Iowa State fans. You're not Iowa fans. You probably look at this game and I'm turning this crap, It was ugly.
It was like watching cars burning in a parking lot at a tailgate.
Which is awesome, by the way.
It was so bad that I just couldn't take my eyes off of it.
So here's where I'm going with that. From the outside, it looks like that, but for me, that game was awesome. I loved every minute of it, just because the next play could change the whole game. It was, Joey loves defense, so I'm sure he liked that aspect of it. But I felt calm the whole game. I don't know. I was just like, somehow Iowa State's going to win this, even though that's one of those games that never goes our way. So
I know we were texting about it, and you said, you didn't, the whole field goal at the end, whether you felt like they were going to make it or not. But like I said, I turned to my dad and I said, this game has been so bad. There's no chance Iowa makes a long field goal to win this game. It's going to be missed.
That and pouring rain.
It was that doesn't help. But that was the most fitting ending to that game. And it was fun to watch. It really was, because I said it wasn't great football, but that kind of makes it exciting though, too, to see what's going to happen next.
It was, yeah. I thought it was beautiful. That's what I thought.
Well, you can rest easy knowing that the Kansas Jayhawks are putting up enough offense for both of those teams, by the way.
Yes. I was going to go there next. Clark's prediction, they're going to win.
Going to Morgantown and just wreck house, baby. Big
This could
time
be-
overtime win.
This could be the year that KU wins the basketball national championship and the football national championship in the same season.
Oh yeah. Freaking perfect right now.
I don't know. Maybe I've had one too many of these for me to say.
Yeah, you might
that,
want to lay
so.
off, Trent.
Yeah,
We want Bama.
yeah. I mean, what you can't take away is Kansas is technically at the top of the Big 12 standings right now. So screenshot it, save it forever. But I think this might be the last week of it, or next week, once the Big 12 teams actually play.
KU fans everywhere hope COVID shuts down the season tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who's
I mean,
KU got next?
They've already far outperformed what I expected. So,
Clark, who do they have next?
oh, you wouldn't make me go look. I mean, I usually do that about 5 minutes before I jump into a podcast on Thursday night.
Okay, you can preview it Thursday night then. That's fine.
I'm looking it up right now. I just had to.
They play in Houston this weekend in Houston.
Oh, the new Big 12 team?
Not yet, because they're gonna lose.
That's right.
I would say Houston isn't looking the greatest this year, though. I mean, they had the overtime win versus UTSA week 1 in triple overtime, and then they just lost this last weekend versus Texas Tech, which is better than what everyone was expecting with this high school coach they brought in. But I wouldn't say all I know is Houston covered the spread this weekend. That's all I was concerned with.
You're bold. Dude,
I've actually been doing pretty decent lately on my picks. I think I went 4-1 on my money picks in college, and then right now I'm the only one that we're watching it live with Monday Night Football is I got the Broncos covering 6.5, which isn't looking too good right now. Geno Smith actually looks like he knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, who would have thought this?
Clark.
Seahawks covered.
You're the new Schwami. What was that, Chris? What's his name?
Chris.
Howard Schwam? Yeah. No,
can't
I
remember
don't know.
his
I
last
don't think I'm quite there yet, but I'm up on money the last 7 days, so that's what's important.
Good work.
Yeah.
You're not placing enough bets.
I place bets on the smart ones. What do I just have to place bets to lose?
You're not taking enough spread bets.
That's right.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to become a degenerate if you're not gambling on every game, Brian?
Yeah.
I got like 6 parlays going right now. Come on.
I'm pretty sure. What are you talking about spread bets? But I'm pretty sure all of mine are spread bets.
Oh, are they?
I think-
I didn't. I thought they were money. I thought they were money line. But that's Trent. That's money line because he's
I'm money lining everything.
Yeah.
On our road to, I was gonna say on our road to 272, I was the only one that was. Or you and me were the only ones that were taking spreads on that.
I did all money lines for the first week, but now I'm like a professional degenerate, and I'm doing it every day. So you're gonna see a little something different next week.
All right,
Especially
respect,
after this
respect.
70,000 to 1 bet hits for you tonight, Clark.
Yeah,
You're dang right.
you should send it over. We can upload it so the audience can actually see what that plus 70.
I don't want to pick me apart before the game's over. Come on.
Where's the fun in that?
I need all 9 legs to hit, and then I'm gonna rub it in everybody's face.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see how it is.
Yep.
So
the next point here on the agenda is about it's Scott Frost. He was fired by Nebraska, and Matt Campbell going to Nebraska. Sorry, the rumors are flying already. We're 2 games into the season. Matt Campbell's gone. They don't want him, but they're too good for him because they won championships 35 years ago. But Matt Campbell's gone, going to Nebraska.
Did that one person ever respond to you?
They never did. They never did. I was ready to get into a 1v1 all-out Twitter war with a Nebraska
1v1
fan.
rust me, bro.
And I said it's not going to happen. And all she said was the palm to the face saying Trent. And I said, explain yourself. What is luring Campbell to Nebraska right now?
mm-hmm.
They never came back. I mean,
They act like Nick Saban's going to be rushing to get over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Nebraska would be better off if they wait for the offseason and pick up both Billy O'Brien out of Alabama.
So if I were Lincoln High School's football coach, I wouldn't want that job right now. Like, come at me, Nebraska fans.
You can take a year's salary out of Nebraska and then go coach 20 more years of high school football and never see that amount of money you make in that year. I would take that job if I was a high school coach in a heartbeat.
Not worth it.
I don't know, man. I first off, I think the funniest thing about this whole thing and kind of the scary thing is Nebraska's got enough money flying around that they didn't wait 19 days to save $7.5 million. That's how badly they wanted to get him the hell out of there. They paid $7 extra million and say, "You're done now. You're done at Georgia Southern," which honestly, that is kind of be scaring for the other Big Ten teams. Not like they're that great, but they're gonna have someone else in charge, and that's usually the type of thing like when Coach O took over at USC, when the interim coach comes in, then all of a sudden it seems like the players play a little bit harder and they're a little bit of a tougher out.
There was something about like if they waited till October 1st, their buyout was much cheaper.
Half.
Okay.
So
which was 14 million?
15.
So we talked about this in season 1 when they restructured his contract and made his buyout less. And we all said, well, that just makes it easier to fire him. So yeah, here we are.
So I don't know. We kind of were spitballing at work earlier about who they're going to even consider. Because like you said, there's some people that want a Matt Campbell because they've seen what we've done at Iowa State. But then there's some that don't feel that's enough. You know, like the names being thrown around right now. I mean, name any coach with a heartbeat that has brought a program up. That's who they want. Matt Campbell, Luke Fickell. You know, you go down the list of the G5 schools that have, been brought to prominence. You know, I've heard even Urban Meyer being thrown around a little bit.
I bet they go and try to take KU's coach Leopold. Dude's turned it around.
I mean, that's another one. I mean, they have mentioned because, again, if you can make KU win 2 games, all of a sudden you're looking pretty fucking good.
So
road gang.
I do like their arguments that, why would Campbell come here? Well, because of our money and resources. It's like, but then they're like, we don't want him because of his record and aims. It's like, well, with your money and resources, you should be able to do fine with anybody, but you can't. I don't know.
No, I agree with that.
I think it's going to be Coach O making his coaching comeback for Nebraska.
That would make Nebraska likable.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think Coach O's probably on that long list. I don't know. The crazy thing is, I don't know. Obviously, they want to get him out, but with them being the first school, I mean, I think that's what they're doing. They're just going to start scouring, finding anyone they can. I mean, I legitimately think if you're Nebraska, you got rid of Bo Pelini with 9-win seasons, and then you saw the progression of what happens. I think you entertain the Nebraska hire. Because at this point, all of your fans don't care about the care. You did what your due diligence with giving a national championship winning quarterback the extra time he needed to win, and he couldn't change the culture around. I think at this point, you go for the hard ass that has proven he can win the Big Ten, and they have the money. They just paid $7 million more dollars to get rid of a guy 3 weeks earlier. I think they go out, they bring that guy, and he makes him into a winner.
We shall see.
So, I don't know, man. That one just feels like it makes the most sense, and there's going to be a little media backlash, But if you're winning, you've seen a lot of things that have happened in different, with different Big Ten and SEC schools where, but they're winners. Look at Urban at Ohio State. All the shit until it became public, he had that thing, a fine-tuned machine.
Do you guys think Kirk Ferentz will ever be on the chopping block, on the hot seat? You don't think so?
No.
This year is just looking so bad. At this point, they're kind of a joke. I mean, they're just kind of being made fun of in the national media with how terrible their offense is. I don't know. I would think at some point Iowa's got to be sick of mediocrity on the offensive side. They've been pulling out 9-10 win seasons regularly, but they'll never take the next step with him.
If with their defense, if if Iowa had any offense, they would be in the Big Ten championship game this year. And I mean, they'd be highly ranked with any offense, and they just don't have it. It's just
But that's a huge if thing. That seems like that's a Kirk thing, and we're seeing from the NFL side of it what happens when you get rid of a super conservative head coach and go to somebody who wants to do a little bit more offensively.
Mm-hmm.
The man's got 24 years of tenure. He has been around. I just looked it up. The BCS power rankings, where they rated the national championship game by computer, started in 1998. Kirk has been around since 1999. He has seen the beginning and the destruction of the BCS and the new playoff system, and is going to see the new 12-man playoff system before he's out of there.
And he'll probably see the playoff system after that too.
Yeah, he's like, I mean, I bet you if you do the math right now, for 25 years, he's been around for 20, probably 15-20% of all Iowa games as their head coach. Imagine throwing in him as a grad assistant and a I don't think he played at Iowa, but I would say just imagine all that other. I mean, that's the unfortunate part is he's got so much tenure. I don't think they can force him out. I think his buyout is insane. Let me do a little research here real quick.
So while Bryant's researching that, Nebraska got beat by Georgia Southern. Marshall, they beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And then Appalachian State beat Texas A&M.
Yep.
The 3 Sun Belt schools that played Division I teams all won this past weekend.
Yep. And they took down the number 6 and the number 8 team in the nation.
The Fun Belt.
Mm-hmm. All of them. I'm pretty sure it's $6 million a year, and I think he gets a very good chunk of it. If he's signed until 2029 at $6 million, I think his buyout, which I think I read earlier, is around $42 million right now.
Jesus. He's trying to get fired. He wants that 42 mil.
They can't afford that. They can't afford it right now, but you get a couple more years down the line where all of a sudden that buyout gets cut down a lot more and things aren't improving. I think you really look hard and get in with your donors to buy him out.
But I thought Big Ten had big money. What's the matter now?
I haven't come quite yet. That'll be coming in 4 years, I think. But yeah, that new money. Once they get that $100,000, all of a sudden it's going to be a lot easier for them to buy out and start afresh.
They'd be sitting better in 4 years if they just paid it now on credit and paid interest until then.
Maybe they'll have a new Bobby Bonilla Day. It's just going to be Kirk Ferentz Day where they just keep chipping away at this fucking buyout.
July 1st every year.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, you got anything to add on LSU?
I didn't see any of the game. I saw that they kicked some ass, but no, I did not see any of the game. So
who they play? I didn't see anything.
Southern, Louisiana Southern or something like that. I don't know. I think that's where they found the recipe for famous chicken.
Popeyes?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, Louisiana won 65-17.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, Ryan, do you want to, since we're talking about LSU, do you want to just head on into the NFL? Because the first point here is the Vikings.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't get to watch any of the games. So the new era has begun. It was one of the most fun games I have had watching as a Vikings fan since the Minneapolis Miracle game. Like it just felt different. It felt new and exciting. There was it got to the point where the kicker ran out and I felt confident that the kicker was going to make his kicks. That's how crazy it felt. So right away, first drive, we go down and score, go all the way down and score. Justin Jefferson. No one's going to convince me that there's a better wide receiver in the NFL right now than Justin Jefferson. He's one of the top receivers, and somehow he's got 15 yards between him and the nearest defender. It's just absolutely crazy how good this guy is. One thing I noticed was Kirk Cousins. He feels so much more comfortable in the system. You hear him doing hard counts. You hear him doing audibles. One of the big plays with Justin Jefferson was an audible off of Cousins. The center is even getting vocal and calling things out. It's just new. It's different. It's more friendly for the team, and you can tell the players are having a lot of fun. And
welcome to NFL in the year 2000.
Right? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We got up 7-0, and guess what? We kept on passing. We didn't just go to run only. We didn't score many points in the second half, but the one thing we did in the second half is we kept drives going. There weren't any 3-and-outs. It was we got the ball and we kept on getting drives going. We may have finished with field goals instead of touchdowns. That needs to change if in tight games. But they were able to run the clock down instead of run, pass, punt like we were used to seeing in the past. So this is just awesome. Kirk Cousins right now is just, he kind of owns Green Bay when he's playing. I know Rodgers made this comment about how the NFC North fans just think it's going to be their year, and he's never witnessed that himself. Well, you haven't beat Kirk Cousins in 728 days, bud. So maybe you should worry about beating the Vikings at this point when we don't have Sean Mannion starting. I think Green Bay will figure it out. Green Bay is a great team. Matt LaFleur is a great coach. Aaron Rodgers is one of the best to ever do it. They'll figure it out, but it feels like momentum is swinging to the Vikings, maybe being a power in the NFC North, maybe in the NFC. What's that?
They're going to the Super Bowl this year.
I tell you what, if they get a Super Bowl, every single Vikings fan is going to have a statue of Kevin O'Connell in their front yard.
Can you imagine if they get a Super Bowl and the first year Zimmer's not there, how hated Zimmer will be?
Oh, God. Couldn't imagine.
Should I tell you that I've been taking a sculpting class now and just take those orders here pre-sale?
Yeah. Okay. I need to know what kind of marble you have,
Oh, you wanted a marble? Oh, I was going for clay.
Oh, we can.
Clark's got his spinning wheel.
Yeah,
we could start with that, but I want it to be life size. I want it to be like 6'5".
I was just going to give you a little pre-model of what the real life thing would be. Okay.
Okay. That works for me too. The one thing that was interesting that was pointed out is, the Rams offense looked absolutely terrible, and the Vikings offense looked damn good. Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay himself said that Kevin O'Connell was the one that was in charge of the game plan and designing all of the plays. He even blocked him from going and taking a interview with the Chargers. So I don't know. We may have stolen their secret, but I just know that I'm super excited to watch football again. We got Monday night against the Eagles. That game will be really telling too. Heard a lot on the media, they weren't at full strength. Rodgers just isn't quite comfortable with his receivers yet. There was very little. Let's give the Vikings some credit where credit is due. It was a lot of the Packers are the reason. They kind of shot themselves in the foot. The Vikings didn't win it that much. Well, I'm excited going forward here. Let's just see how Monday night goes.
I did see a thing that Justin Jefferson said there was a few plays yesterday that he was caught off guard because he was so wide open.
So wide open. It was nuts. Even so, Rebecca was working. She wasn't able to watch much of the game, but when she did, she texted me. She's like, "Is Adam Thielen hurt? Why is he not being seen?" Well, he wasn't. He got 3 catches. But yeah, Justin Jefferson's so good. He's just wide open, and you're going to get huge plays with him. Just keep on feeding him the ball. He had nine catches, 180 some yards.
How did what's his name? KJ
Osborne?
Yes.
He had a couple catches. I mean, it was mainly going through Jefferson. Munt, their tight end, he played pretty solid. He was good. The line looked solid. The defense looks reinvigorated. I mentioned Zadarius Smith and Danielle Hunter in the past. Holy crap, those two are just going to be a problem for the NFL. And Zadarius Smith is going to become a fan favorite easily for the Vikings. He's out there having a blast, but he is a beast. I need to find can you find the video of him running over AJ Dillon there, Bryant?
Who?
Zadarius Smith. Here, let me try to find it on Twitter.
What about my boy Harry the Hitman?
He got the first interception of Rodgers in the NFC North since 2019. He had a very, very strong game.
Perfect.
Yep.
I love me some Harrison Smith.
Yeah, I'll try to find the video. But yeah, he just came shooting through, and AJ Dillon is not he's not a small boy, and just took him out.
Yeah, I would say that's kind of the impression when I was watching on the game is just the Vikings were a lot more fast paced when it seemed, and even without Zimmer, the defense seemed like they were getting after it. I know you're not going to like hearing this, Ryan, but I do think week one we're going to celebrate this one. I think the real test next week because again, Packers when their top receiver is Alan Lazard and also their top receiver is out, that's going to be a tough. I mean, that's going to be tough for them to power through. It is Aaron Rodgers, but if they can do the same thing,
all you hear is how Aaron Rodgers can make anybody amazing. So I want that to be shown then too.
Yeah.
Did Lazard play yesterday?
No, he wasn't. He was out the whole game.
Well, that's why the Vikings whipped their ass.
So, but I would say I think with how well the Eagles played on Sunday, if you can repeat and do the same thing and you can contain a Jalen Hurts, because from the games that we saw on starting with the Rams and not looking like themselves all the way up, I think Eagles are gonna get maybe they might be one of the perennial NFC contenders now. Now they were playing the Lions, which isn't the greatest competition, but I mean I think it's clear indication that he can get him. I would say that Hurts has been playing very well.
Yeah, the Lions. I just don't see the Lions being that great. So I don't know. I feel good against the Eagles again. We'll see. It's away in Philadelphia. Here, I sent you the Twitter video on the private chat there, Bryant.
Okay.
Yeah, the Eagles Vikings next week is Monday Night Football. There's 2 games next week, 2 Monday night games.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah, Minnesota and Philly is one of them. I'm not sure who the other one is though.
Huh? I didn't know that.
I work with a Eagles fan, so it'll be fun.
Yeah,
he's from Philly.
I think as long as they can keep Hurts in the pocket, I think we'll be okay. All right.
Let's see if we can get this played here real quick.
And then he's still going, and yeah, it's fun watching this team play.
I mean, it's a hell of an effort on that block, though.
He tried.
He gave it his all, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And AJ Dillon he's a stout guy. He's a pretty tough big dude. So it's not like it's just running over the kicker. I was
gonna say he made it look like he was running over one of us.
Yeah. And AJ Dillon usually when he's running back, when he's rushing, he can run through 3 or 4 people too. He kind of reminds me of Adrian Peterson a little bit, to be honest. Yeah, it was fun week 1. Yeah, it just feels so different. So different.
Yeah, good. Maybe next week I'll get to watch.
That'd be cool.
I watched no NFL yesterday. None.
So you're not going to be the superstitious guy that says, I didn't watch and we dominated, so I can't watch the rest of the year?
No, that's dumb.
All right. If you guys lose next week, man, I think we figure out what the Vikings need to do, and it's cut off your circulation to the game then.
Yep. Cut my internet so I can't stream the games. I'm done. Yep. So, well, now that the other half of the Chiefs fandom is back here, what do you guys think about the Chiefs showing yesterday? 2 thumbs.
2 thumbs. Way.
2 thumbs way up for Clark.
Oh yeah.
Bryant, how many thumbs you got?
How many things you want to see? I got 3 things up right now, and you can see my 2 thumbs. So guess what the third is? That was about as crystal clear as Mahomes could make it. That everyone needs to shut the fuck up about. I think the MVP is going to be the Bills are going to. The Chiefs are going to chief. Now the Cardinals also. They were down with the players that they have available. JJ's out. They didn't have Hopkins. They didn't have you heard every excuse on the injuries that they had, and I'm sorry, reasons actually, not even excuses, but also it just shows what the Chiefs could have done in that game. I would say I think they were up 44-14, and it was only because the defense kind of got a bit lackadaisical that they even got that garbage time touchdown at the end too. So I mean, go ahead.
I got a question for you, Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything going off field this weekend that may have averted some attention?
What
was there something going on off the field this weekend that may have averted somebody's attention?
Oh yeah. I would say speaking of the off the field issues. So we did a little research on the pod here, and we realized that coming up on the game this last week, it was a double XP weekend for Call of Duty Vanguard. So I don't know if Kyler was too busy plating up rather than studying up. But I know I personally played. It was still double XP weekend until Wednesday. So if he was prepping more, trying to get gold armor than trying to figure out how to break down the Chiefs' defense, which what the funny thing is, I sent a couple. I'll see if I can. I would say we're not going to play the whole video on here, but I mean there's a lot of actual I think it was Last Chance U quarterback coach. He tweeted out a video directly of Kyler Murray going, "This is the stuff that you need to study on film," and it shows a DB showing he's blitzing, getting ready, and Kyler doesn't even look to the right side of the field. He is so focused on who he was supposed to be throwing at. A DB came in untouched. He didn't check down a receiver instead of running his route to block instead, and it was the easiest. And it was 3rd and 6. The Cardinals do a lot of stuff to put themselves in long range situations, and it's those little things like that where Kyler doesn't get them into manageable 3rd downs. So he just basically is out there having to play hero ball, and he's an amazing athlete and can get it done a lot of the time. But when you have to rely on that, you see what happens. All of a sudden, you're competing in the first couple quarters, and all of a sudden you just start getting blown away.
Do you think he hit his what would have been his required film study if they had kept that clause in his contract this week?
I was just going to go there. Remember, we were talking. I called Clark on my way back to Sioux Falls yesterday, and I was like, does it look like Kyler watched his 4 hours worth of film this week? And Clark goes, it looks like he did the bare minimum.
Yeah. I mean, because again, we always kind of poke fun at, and I think Lamar has proven the opposite, but you poke fun at these guys like, well, they're going to rely on their athletic ability. That's what it looks like he is still doing, and he got paid before he proved it. That's the unfortunate thing is, and again, that's the power of the player right now. If Kyler had maybe pushed this a year later and been a year more developed, maybe they do it. But he holds all the cards of saying, "I am your franchise quarterback. If you don't pay me, I'll just go somewhere else." And then if he succeeds elsewhere, then you look like dipshit. So they had to overpay now to ensure they had that. You see what the quarterback is as a commodity in the NFL, but it's just, yeah. I mean, I agree. It looks like he did the bare minimum, and Jesus, I hope Cliff Kingsbury gets something figured out to get that kid dialed in, because even though you're down that many, again, we were talking about Rodgers. He was down his couple receivers. This is why you're getting the $165 million guaranteed, or whatever the stupid astronomical number is when those players are down, you have to improve the others. You have to be the leader to lift them up. You can't rely on these excuses. Well, my top receiver is out. Well, JJ's out. Too bad. If your defense is if your best defensive player's out, you have to go out and score that extra 7 to 10 points. Your best receiver's out, then you have to make the other ones look good. Sorry, bud. That's why you're getting paid the money, and that's why they can't afford to put players around you.
So the Last Chance U coach was that Jason Brown?
I believe so, yeah.
If you've never watched Last Chance U, he is on seasons 3 and 4 in Indy in Kansas.
Yeah.
So go check that out.
Hell yeah.
If you never watched it, it's great. He can motherfuck you up one side and down the other. He tells it like it is.
Is that the one with Spencer Rattler in it?
Spencer Rattler was on QB1.
Oh, QB1. I'm getting those shows.
Yes.
I never watched those shows.
Along with Real Mitchell, who went to Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
Who is now with Louisiana Monroe or something like that.
Okay.
Is that where he is now?
Okay.
He went down there somewhere.
I'm sure it's somewhere like that.
Raging Cajuns, Monroe. I don't know which one he went to. One of those. I don't know.
Oh, I kind of laughed. I thought you said Raging Cajuns. I think you said Raising Canes. I was like, is that how bad his career went? He's now at a restaurant. He just running
No,
busboy.
they're probably giving him NIL deals. They're giving him just giving them away.
Shit.
So Clark, I see you've got something behind you there. Since we're talking about the Chiefs game, you want to explain what that is?
So, yeah, I'd love to explain. We had this argument many, many times last year. Who's the greatest tight end in the league? And I got really sick of hearing George Kittle listed as the greatest tight end in the league. So I've got a board going with the stats that we're going to have up every week. All right. And so I've been asked to add some honorable mentions to the list because obviously George Kittle, bunch of goose eggs. It was reported, I believe, like the night before game day that he's injured. Surprise. Who could have guessed the guy is not going to play week 1? Who knew? So big goose eggs. Week 1, George Kittle, zeros. In the honorable mentions, I was at give some respect to our purple brethren from the north with Irv Smith Jr. He did play. He had 2 targets. Neither of them were hauled in. He had 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns. So that's number 1.
But how many
Joey's
injuries,
love.
though?
Joey's love coming out of the ATL. Kyle Pitts, young superstar, 2 catches, 19 yards, no touchdowns. So there's respect. And now we get to the man that everybody wishes they could be, Travis freaking Kelce. 8 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown came so early in the game. I'm like, already? Whoa. I mean, they haven't even changed it over from the freaking Bengals game yet, and we got points on the board with Travis Kelce? Love it. It was amazing.
So I thought you were going to add a little at the bottom. I thought you were going to put the little red the red cross there to indicate the game's injured. So at least Kittle would not have straight zeros across the board.
I mean, I wrote that about 2 minutes before getting in here. That chalk takes a bit, to get on the board. So
and to draw it real nice. Well, I'm sure Kittle was pancake blocking in his mind this week, and I'm sure he did very well.
Doing a little Russell Westbrook, just a little mental game out there, just like pancakes.
And the fact that Irv Smith Jr. is making it to a second game is pretty huge. Let's not downplay this.
Is he from George Kittle U?
What?
He's from Bama.
Is he from George Kittle U?
Speaking of George Kittle U, that would be Iowa. So he's always hurt. Are they like, what's in the Iowa City water? Like, remember Tony Moeaki? Like, he was supposed to be the next great tight end out of Iowa. Went to the Chiefs. There must be something in the water in Iowa City that makes your bones brittle.
You're on something, Trent.
Yeah.
Laporta is going to be the next one that's going to get drafted high and then not play on the NFL team that he's drafted by. Noah Fant, who is also an Iowa tight end, 2 catches for 14 yards tonight for the Seattle Seahawks.
What about Hawkinson?
I don't know. Is he on Denver?
Detroit.
He's on Detroit.
Yeah, I was just like,
what'd he do yesterday?
I'll look it up.
I ain't got these stats in front of me, Trent.
Yeah, I'm looking this shit up in real time as you're asking me here. Let's see here. Now that I have it in front of me, Detroit.
You should know what I'm going to ask before I ask it, Bryant.
4 catches for 38 yards. So combined, those 2 Iowa tight ends, they have 50 yards.
Woo!
How many did Kelce have?
Who?
How many did Kelce have?
8 for 121 and a tutter.
Oh, so he had 2.5 times the yardage of all Iowa tight ends in the league.
Yep.
Jesus, we're really shitting on Joey in this episode. Let's say something nice about Atlanta.
Joey's not here to defend himself. So
they played better than I expected. Does that count?
Atlanta had that game, didn't they?
Yes. 28 led 28-10 at one point, and then lose 27-28.
They don't know how to hold a lead to. Yeah.
Well, in Joey's defense here, he's disappointed that they lost, but he's also happy because remember he wants them to not win to get a better draft pick, and he's like,
Yeah.
well, Mariota's just good enough to not get him the first round or the first pick overall. So,
but he hates the Saints. So this one, it
Yeah,
would have
this
been
is
one
the
of the few
one.
he wanted.
yeah, this is probably the one they wanted.
The important thing is Atlanta covered 5.5 this weekend, so that was the most important thing on this on that game.
Yeah.
So this Denver team is not looking good at all. Like they
No.
look pretty terrible. They're 10.5 point
sure.
favorites against Houston next week.
Get it now.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm really, I'm ready to put that bet in right now.
Are they in Denver?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still 10.5, and I'm seeing what this team looks like right now.
Well, it is their first game together as this battle, which is tough to go on the road at. So, but
I would
yeah,
say
Houston's
it's
better
amazing
than that.
when you start watching stats this early, how you see these lines. Like I think that the Vikings line was like 2.5 point underdogs last week, and then and of course the Lazard injuries and stuff add to it. But it's amazing how Vikings started as like a field goal underdog, to all of a sudden throughout the week, and then they're kicking to a field goal favorite. You know, that's where I'm starting to love this road to 230 to 272 that we've been doing, because if we can lock these lines in super early, it's amazing how much it moves throughout the week, and it can really benefit you in cases.
Did you see how it changed after Dak Prescott got hurt yesterday?
I did not.
think I want to say Dallas was a 2-point favorite, and now they're like 6.5 point dogs.
Who are they playing next week?
Cincy.
Yeah. Well, and I would say, and they shit the bed for sure last week, so they're going to try and come in with a vengeance.
So speaking of Cincy, we can get down to some teams that should not have lost this past week. There were some surprises, Cincy losing, Tennessee losing, Indianapolis tying the Texans. Those were locks, like on my money line. Like those, like I was like, there's no way Indianapolis is losing to the Texans. It was a tie, whatever, but still, like that should not have happened.
No, and that's how I mean. That's what I took
I
took the spread for Indianapolis because I don't know, is Houston better than we think now or what? Because you would think Indianapolis should just absolutely kill them, but no.
It's almost like they got rid of a distraction or something.
Oh, Houston.
The thing that shocked me though was Joe Burrow looked so cool going into the game. How did they lose that game yesterday?
That was another game that I thought Cincinnati easy beats Pittsburgh.
It's almost like he threw a touchdown on their first drive.
To the wrong team.
He threw a pick six first drive, huh?
I love how much you Chiefs fans hate Joe Burrow just because he kicked your ass last year. Well, with the help of the refs, I will give that. But you guys are just forever.
Salty.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Joe cool. Everyone, he's the coolest thing. Look how cool it is to throw 4 interceptions. He won the AFC. Yeah, that was that does make me feel real happy when it's just like I always think it's the dumbest thing on any person anyways is look what they're wearing pregame, but they make sure to get Joe Burrow Joe cool. Look at those little sunglasses got going on.
He's wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
Again, nothing special, but they had to make sure they get him pregame. I'm
kind of like Cam Newton. What was the bull crap that Cam Newton would be wearing to a press conference? We have to see. Did you guys see what Kirk Cousins wore to his post-game presser?
Mr. Coles, man.
Was it sweatpants and a t-shirt?
I'm gonna try to find it and then I'll share it because it's pretty.
Jeans and some old school New Balances and a Vikings polo.
Got it in front of me.
Some dad shoes. He's got some Monarchs on.
Oh yeah.
You got it, Bryant?
Yeah.
This dude hit the coals up to go. Yep. This dude went to Kohl's and then he's going to go to Bible study after his post-game press conference there.
Dude, he's just got his plaid snap shirt on. Dude, he's got to go bale some hay after the game.
Oh, I love it. You will never get controversy from him other than he's too vanilla. That's all you'll get from him.
He also puts tinfoil on his grill too. That's the most
Yeah,
controversial thing he does.
yeah.
So, but I would say you sent this stat here, and I made sure to put it in there. New coaches, they went 5-1-1. Who were the winners yesterday?
So Cock,
Mm-hmm.
McDaniels.
Okay.
Gosh, that's a good question. Dable.
Yep. I'd say the Giants, while you're looking it up, that was astounding. Well, and they won on a missed field goal as well, but I mean, they pulled that one out late by getting that touchdown. I mean, Daniel Jones is actually looking pretty solid. Saquon is who we think he is when he's not getting injured. I mean, I think we all in the bet to 272. I think we all kind of had that one, but we couldn't explain why.
Yeah,
So
I know I took them to cover, and it's just one of those things where I don't think Tennessee is that great. You have Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's always going to get his own, but I just don't think Tennessee is that great.
You mentioned Saquon and his injuries. He must have drank too much brittle bone juice in Iowa City when they were there on the road.
It's all these years later still lingering, huh?
Yeah.
Cripes.
Is that a technical term? Brittle bone juice.
Yeah, brittle bone juice stuff.
Josh McDaniels.
Did Dak Prescott get some of that?
Mike McDaniel
may have. Well, he played for Texas A&M, so I don't know if he'd ever played in Iowa City.
He played Mississippi State.
Mississippi State, not Texas A&M. Sorry.
Right colors, wrong
SEC. Same colors, same conference, whatever.
Matt Eberflus for the Bears. Eberflus. Okay. Dennis Allen for the Saints.
Nice.
Yep.
No, and the tie is Lovie Smith, right?
Yep. And the loss, I think I have it wrong because Doug Peterson lost. He was new. And then Josh McDaniels lost too. So that's 2.
What was? Hold on. Are you talking brand new first head coaching gig or?
That's probably what that stat was. Yeah. Yep.
I was like, Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl.
Now Hackett for Green Bay is looking like he could very possibly lose, or for Denver could possibly lose.
Yeah. Well, they had a pretty. I would say they had a pretty legit strip sack there. They recovered it. So I don't know. It's 17-13 right now with 13 minutes to play. They still got a shot to cover. I mean,
they don't need to freaking cover. The Broncos need to win.
Seahawks are covering these 6.5 points easy.
I was texting Joey today, and I was looking at my FanDuel app at the same time, and no matter what happens tonight, I am up money on my road to 272 bets this week.
Good work, bud.
I would hope so, Mr. Moneyline.
Yeah.
I was going to pick the favorites to win every game, and we'll be good.
I picked the Vikings to win. Were they favorite? No.
Was that was your only dog, wasn't it?
No, I had. I think.
Did you have the Giants?
No.
Should have had the Giants.
I looking back, yes, you're right.
Should have.
I don't know.
Well, that was one of the lines. It was plus 100 when we locked it in, but by the time it was game time, they were the favorites at that point. I think it was minus 110, but they had moved from slight underdogs to slight favorites at that point.
Man, there's just a couple. There's some huge spreads this week, and we'll go over that when we record on Wednesday. But Rams have an 11-point favor over the Falcons. 49ers are 8.5-point favors over the Seahawks. Like
the Niners are favorites versus the Seahawks.
Yeah. Packers are 10 over the Bears. Bills are 10 over the Titans. Those are just huge covers.
No, I would say that's where, like I said, I think I'm going to have to lock some in early and then talk about them a day later when we're actually doing the recording.
Yeah, I will definitely be doing a lot more research because I hate, 7-point spreads suck enough, but 10 points are just, that sucks.
Don plays back the under 40. He loved it.
That one was not even remotely being close to God misses field goals. And I mean, you could have had 3 touchdowns in the last quarter, and we would still been under. That was
that the Iowa State Iowa game?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the
If Iowa would have made that field goal, they would have gotten to half of the under
yeah.
for the game.
I'm pretty sure right before kick, because I think it was like 42 or 44 to start the week. And then again, when you're watching these lines, it was 40.5 when I locked it in. And by game time, it was at least 38.5. And Vegas is going, we can't go reasonably any lower than this, because if they have any sort of a game day, they're going to be just fine. They're going to go well over that. So, yeah, no, that was a pretty good lock there.
I'm looking up. I heard Iowa's over under for this week. I think they played Nevada. What is it?
20.5 versus Nevada.
No,
Nevada.
they're over under.
Over under is 40.5.
Hammer that.
Hammer the over or the under?
The under.
Nevada lost to UMass like 27-13, and UMass is like perennially a shit team, the Minutemen. I don't know.
I don't think they can do it.
I mean,
so you're saying so if they're that bad and Iowa's defense is that good, so the Iowa offense has got to score 40 basically. Yeah.
Quit talking me into this, Trent. Just let me think about this a little bit. But no, that's the exact. I mean, okay. I do have a very amazing stat. I have to save it for the college football pod. I think we're gonna do it live tomorrow. Did we decide that, Trent?
I believe so.
Yeah, we'll do it live tomorrow. I got an amazing stat about it's the trivia question to start off, and then we have some other very good Iowa stats, because we haven't talked about Iowa enough on the pod, so we're really gonna make sure
Joey
we
will be here tomorrow.
So yeah, Joey will be here.
Yeah,
so we'll make sure we hammer that home. But.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all we got for the NFL right now. So let's just head on over to the movie minute. Been a while since we've had a movie minute. A lot of stuff's been happening.
We had one last week. If you wouldn't have missed.
Dang it. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'll never go on vacation again.
Yeah, you jerk.
Good.
I'll plan my vacation around our podcast that gets 50 listeners a week.
There you go.
Thank you for taking one for the team.
Yeah, I did it. So people probably enjoyed it more last week that I was gone. I don't blame them.
Finally, that one irritating Trent is finally out of there. Now we can hear about the rings of power from the other 3.
Yeah. I'll let you guys take away the movie minute.
Clark, go for it, dude. Well, once he's done with his drink, he can start.
I got to hydrate because I got a lot to say.
Is that purple drink? That looks purple.
It is Walmart's knockoff Tropical Punch Gatorade mix.
It's purple drink. All right.
Didn't get that lime cucumber Gatorade?
No, I don't mess with that garbage.
I don't blame you.
Lime cucumber. Why did Gatorade ever waste the marketing on that? I don't know. It's
got to sell if they keep selling, man.
Yeah, they could have made pickles out of those cucumbers that they wasted.
It would have been better stuff's nasty. So
worse than pickles.
There's a couple big time shows going on right now across the world. One's on Amazon Prime, the other's on HBO. House of the Dragon. I know Joey's a big time show fan of the Game of Thrones lineage that is House of the Dragon. It's set quite some time before the Game of Thrones setting and household, taking in all the drama. And very much the political drama that Game of Thrones was. So this last episode, not a whole lot happening. There's a little bit of dragon at the beginning, out on a boat, and then it just goes into weird incest stuff for the rest of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
So good times.
Rhaenyra definitely, one of the lines was, "What are you doing, step uncle?" And then it just went downhill from there. Just kidding. It's her actual uncle. It's not the step uncle.
No.
But
yeah.
Yeah, that one it was interesting because there's a lot of the undermining of they found out about that. Then she was sleeping with someone underneath her status, and then the news came out, and now it's trying to protect her, but then she throws Hightower underneath the bus, basically. Excuse me, and then really causing a divide between now, the king in his hand.
So kind of works both ways because he had a report that she actually slept with her uncle, but she didn't because her uncle got cold feet right at that time, took off, and so that never actually happened. So that
I thought he
they are
played
correct
just
there. But then she was all riled up, went back and took her guard took her maidenhood, so she's ruined, according to them. But
isn't that kind of like the movie The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston, Kevin Costner? Isn't that kind of the same shit?
I don't know. Kind of felt like a Deshaun Watson documentary to me, but
there's no rub down scenes at all in that. But yeah, that was it was very. Go ahead.
I was going to move on. You have a point. Go ahead.
I really don't get what the point of, because like Damon, the last two times when we've seen him in King's Landing, he starts with calling the king's dead baby a day old king for a day, and then he banishes him. Then he fights so hard to get back to King's Landing, becomes King of the Narrow Sea, which was the episode title, and then he tries to fuck his niece, and then he knows he's gonna get. It almost feels like he knows he's gonna get caught. Like there's no consequences, just to basically seem like she's impure. And then the when he's asking what the play was, he just goes, "We'll just have her marry me." It's to the Targaryen way, which it was a twofer, trying to empower him and diminish her power.
Well, I'm kind of on the opposite side because I feel like the reason he backed away at the last moment was because he was thinking of her, because he'd given her the necklace. He's been there her whole life. There's some connection there. She's currently being told she has to marry by the king and checking out all the suitors and hates them all. But here comes Daemon back to the city. So she's like, finally, somebody I like is back. And Targaryens marry blood. And so she's not against it. So I think she wanted it.
Well, yeah, I think she leaned into it as well, but then there's just no remorse when he has the sword to his, was a sword or a knife to his throat?
It was the dagger.
Yeah, just the dagger. Well, then just marry her to me. It's like, what was it? So the purpose was just for you to marry in and get your place back to the throne, So I don't know. All I know is I thought I wasn't gonna like Matt Smith playing that role, because it's like I know that's Matt Smith. I've recognized his face. And now 4 episodes in, now it's transitioned to he's actually a character, and he does a damn good job at it.
Yeah. Well, are you ready to move on to the other show?
Yeah, you're gonna have to carry this one, man. I got halfway through.
Well, Ring of Power, there's been 3 episodes come out. New episodes come out on Fridays. It is on Amazon Prime. It is covering the early ages of Middle Earth in the world of Lord of the Rings, way back to the days before the rings were actually made by Sauron. So a little precursor to all the movies we love where those hobbits are marching across Middle Earth, Samwell Tarly, my boy, throwing it back way before their time. So the first 2 episodes are a lot of developing stories, setting the scene, telling us what the world is and what's going on. And I feel like episode 3 started to see more action, especially with the Harfoots and the Hobbits, seeing how things go in their world. And I believe they've got a wizard in their midst. I'm not real sure, but he's kind of throwing some kinks in those little Hobbits world. I'm really looking forward to that story. And then the elves and the orcs and the men of the Southlands developing. The orcs are digging trenches across all of the Southlands, and they've actually got, it kind of comes to light that they've got this plan to go take these Southlands and make that their kingdom where they can live. Like, that is the great plan that they are just now figuring out, and it is well into progress. So yeah, that whole development is, I think, what really hooked me on this last episode.
I loved, and I'm, you might need to help me. I cannot remember the name of the city that they're in episode 3 when they
Numenor?
Numenor. Thank you. But they had washed ashore, and that I mean, you're wondering, like, where is Amazon spending their money on this show? The shot of Numenor, just the skyline out, and, like, I mean, not only just the attention to detail on every little thing, but it was just incredible. I mean, that might be one of the better shots I've probably seen in any cinema this year.
Like the Great White City from Return of the King or whatever, like that was amazing at the time. Like, yeah, it's, that technology has gotten better with age, and this Numenor put it to shame. Like, it is amazing that shot they gave.
From where they got from the trailer, and everyone kind of thought it looked like trash, to where they are now. I mean, because that was always the big question. And kind of like with Game of Thrones, one, are they going to be able to detach from Lord of the Rings and Ring of Power being its own thing? But also Peter Jackson did such a good job with practical effects. They were wondering, like, is this just going to be a CGI fest like some of these new shows can be? And I think, honestly, I think they've gone practical as much as they can with a lot of it. But I think it's looked amazing so far. I mean, I can't believe that.
Yeah, it has been amazing, and I'm looking forward to the rest. This last episode, we really didn't see much of old Elrond. He's down there checking out the dwarves, working with Galadriel on making the furnace. So I kind of forgot about that point from episode 2. So a lot of other development in this episode.
I was worried you were talking about L. Ron Hubbard, the creator of Scientology. I was like, is he in this show as well? Because I might have slept through that then.
Oh, you missed it, Brian. Go back.
Yeah, fucking no. So no, I've never been the biggest Lord of the Rings fan as well, but this show's really making it appreciate just the attention to detail, and they've just done a fantastic job. I think. I mean, this is one, it hasn't been appointment television yet, but that might be when I'm getting home on Fridays. First thing I'm doing is starting to watch this show.
Well, moving away from television entertainment, I think Ryan got a little bit of live music over this past weekend.
Sure did. With Cody Johnson with Randy Houser opening up for it in Rapid City, South Dakota. The show was absolutely fucking awesome. I didn't expect. I had heard he's amazing live. Holy crap, does he put on a show? It was fun too because you look in the crowd and there's a ton of people just two-stepping to his music. Like it was a lot of fun watching that too. The guy, I've people make comparisons with him to Garth Brooks, and I totally see it. His stage movement around, he's running around the stage, he's just interacting with everything. It reminded me of kind of a little Garth Brooks. If he ever gets bigger stages and stuff like that, I think he'll just be amazing, even more. Highly recommend it. Ticket prices weren't too bad for him. I've seen, gosh, the ticket prices for Kane Brown are twice the price of his, and you couldn't pay me what you have to pay to see him. But yeah, Cody Johnson, easily top 3 show to me. I'll put him up there with Eric Church and Garth Brooks easily.
And that dude works. Like, he is constantly on the road, so there are lots of opportunities out there to go see him. Yeah. And I'll reiterate what you said. Like, he brings the energy to the stage. I still think Eric Church is up there as far as one of the best performers and entertainers. My best concert is still Denver with Luke Combs, Cody Johnson there. And actually, that brings me to my next point. It's Cody Johnson. Did you know he's going overseas, going to Australia to play these stadium shows with Luke Combs on his next tour next year? Like,
yep.
And the cool thing with action.
the nice thing with him is he sounds better live than he does on recording. There's so many people that you go see them and you're just like, wow, you sound like shit. No, Cody John sounded better. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was awesome. If anyone gets a chance, make sure you go see him. It's kind of funny because he's getting, you know, award nominations for new vocalist of the year, new artist of the year. It's like I've been listening to this guy for over a decade now, so it's really cool to see him finally, you know, making it the big time and not selling out to it either. Still making country music. He's not living in Nashville. Tell him what to do.
I think what keeps him from already being the new artist, like already hitting that point, is he is unapologetically patriotic. Like that guy don't give a shit what you think. He's going to tell you, this is who I respect and this is why. And I think you should too. Like, yeah, he's unapologetic.
He did about a 5-minute thing going around making, you know, healthcare workers, police, fire people, you know, ovations for them, and then last the military. And if, you know, don't give a shit who your politicians are, who the blue checks are on Twitter. These are the people that you come out to these shows and have the freedom you want. Just for 5 minutes, just, you know, support the military and all that stuff. And I
he has done that at every single show I've ever seen him in, which has been like a handful. So yeah, he's not giving it up.
No, and basically at the end, he's like, he doesn't say it, but you can tell he wants to, where he's like, if you don't agree with anything I'm saying, just get the out of here.
Yeah,
no, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And he would tell stories along the way too, with how some of the songs came about and that stuff. And one of them was him talking about the first time he went to Nashville to try to make it, and telling him, okay, you need to lose the cowboy hat, you need to lose the steel guitar, you need to lose the fiddle, and then you should fit in. And he's just like, nope, I'll see you later, I'm going back to Texas. And so I mean, he maybe could have made it earlier if he sold out, but no, he's sticking to it. Yep.
So if you want to see Kane Brown, Ryan, I saw a billboard today. He's going to be in Sioux Falls.
He's going to be in Rapid City. He's going to be in Rapid too. The funny thing is apparently my sister-in-law is going, and so Beck texted me and asking me, do we like Kane Brown? And my only response was, no, we do not.
So I saw a thing, you know, speaking of live music, and you went to Inman for a concert, didn't you, once, Clark? That 365 Sports Complex?
It was, not Randy Hauser. Randy, I'm terrible at always recalling names. Terrible.
Randy Rogers?
Yes, Randy Rogers band.
Okay. So, I don't know if you remember one of the first Combat Sports pods that Joey did, that Ron Lee King was on. He's in a band. It's called Corey Waller and the Wicked Things. They you know, go around to Iowa. They play. They're really good. They played at I saw them last year, not this past year, but the year before, at the street dance at the 4th of July in Gowrie, and they actually played Turnpike songs. So they're good in my book there. But they are going to be playing actually at the Inman at that with the Kentucky Headhunters. I saw that he posted that on Instagram. So yeah, I just had to bring that up. So yeah, Ron Lee has been on one of the Pulse of the Heartland pods. He is an amazing guitar player and singer. So yeah, he'll be down there playing. I thought that was kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
And to play with the Kentucky Headhunters. That's pretty cool too.
We need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I was watching that live. For switching it from country music real quick. Yeah, Seattle's leading 17-6. Spread is 6.5. So let's see Danger Russ run it down the field and get that 2-point to make sure I win my
Javonte Williams would just give me an anytime touchdown, I think I would hit at least 2 parlays. Because being stingy and not doing so.
How many legs of your 9-legger do you got so far?
1.
You've only got 1?
It's not final for yardage. I would have, let me look and I'll tell you what I have for yardage.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I know it's not final, but I would say surely there's got to be some other things like anytime touchdown by Rashad Penny or something that we know is hit. It just hasn't locked in yet or something.
Jerry Judy, yardage and touchdown.
Okay.
I had DK over on yards. He had to hit 57.5. Not happening. DK for a touchdown. Not happening. Javonte Williams over on rushing yards, 60. Not happening. Javonte for a touchdown. Nope. And Geno Smith yardage. That was my proud one there, where I Geno's gonna get over 200 yards. Not yet.
I feel like for a 9-leg parlay, you have to have like the gentleman sitting in section 203, row B, seat 6 gets 6 yards. Like, that's got to be in there somewhere. Over under 7.5.
At this point, I'm really hoping for Cortland Sutton touchdown and Denver to hit money line, because that would get me a couple parlays.
Man in section 306 with the Hulk hand koozie, over under 4.5 $10 beers, and I'd go over on that one. So no, that one I think is out of touch. Unless you had the Seahawks covered, and I think you're pretty safe at this point. Russ hasn't looked very good, which is good news for a Chiefs fan. But again, first week, and the way they're describing it, like it sounded like it was kind of more mutual parting by Pete Carroll, because like they always said, let Russ cook, and Pete Carroll's kind of more methodically. This is how I run my offense. And there's a point where Geno Smith, I think, was 16 for 17, so it was kind of looking like the correct move by Seattle so far.
Well, let Geno cook.
Let Geno cook. There you go.
All right. Anybody else got anything to add to this pod before we do wrap it up?
We're going to be recording this. I think we're going to release this tomorrow, Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
Yep, we're going to. If you've made it this far, appreciate you listening. But we're going to be doing a live recording of the college football pod Tuesday at 8:30 again. We have some schedule conflicts, so we're going to do a little early this week, and we'll probably release that one on Thursday. And then we're going to be recording our 272, going over our bets, how we did last week, our new games, and then that Ryan, are we releasing that on Friday, I believe?
I'll try to get it uploaded that night for Thursday morning.
Okay, excellent.
Try to get it out before Thursday game. It's probably not going to happen every week. This week, I'll try to get that done.
Okay, excellent.
All right. Well, keep an eye out for those pods to come out later this week, and I'm sure they will. At least one of them will be on YouTube live as well. So keep an eye out for that. Again, check all your podcast platforms that you do listen to your podcast on. Give us a listen on there. That's what gives us our anchor numbers. So we do appreciate that. Thanks for following along. We do appreciate everybody that's commenting. We like to play with that as well. So, Brian, Clark, Ryan, who wants to hit them with the socials?
Instagram, Twitter is going to be at Heartland Pulse, and then just Facebook and YouTube is going to be Pulse of the Heartland. And then just when you do, make sure you like, subscribe, and like we said, if you are joining us live, we appreciate it. Or if there's content you want us to cover, just send it our way, and we'll definitely do our best at it. All
right. Thank you all for listening. And
share us with your friends. Let them know how awesome.
Yes.
And how much money
tell
we're
everybody.
Make, everyone.
Tell everybody.
Yep.
All right. And we'll see you later this week.
Appreciate you guys.